It looks like a normal apple. But where did it come from? And why is it just sitting there? Let's find out.
Could eating apple seeds every day actually poison you? Not a rumor, not an old wives' tale, a real chemical question with a real chemical answer. Let's set the rules first. We're not talking about one seed by accident. We're talking about someone who eats the whole core, seeds and all, every single day, for years. Is that a slow poisoning? Or is it nothing at all? Before we get to the answer, understand why this question even exists. Amygdalin isn't unique to apples. It shows up in cherry pits, peach stones, apricot kernels, and bitter almonds too, the same basic defense mechanism used across an entire family of fruit trees. Nature built this compound as a deterrent, a way of punishing anything that tries to grind up the seed instead of just passing it through. Humans happen to be the one species clever enough to blend it into a smoothie anyway. Here's what's actually happening inside that seed. Apple seeds contain a compound called amygdalin. It sits quietly inside the seed's tough outer coating, completely inert, completely harmless, as long as nothing disturbs it. Chew that seed though, and everything changes. Crushing breaks the coating. Breaking the coating exposes the amygdalin to enzymes in your gut, and those enzymes do something your body was never designed to enjoy. They convert amygdalin into hydrogen cyanide. Yes, that cyanide. The same molecule used in industrial poisoning cases, the same molecule that shuts down a cell's ability to use oxygen, sitting quietly, in tiny amounts, inside one of the most common fruits on the planet. So how much of it are we actually talking about? Researcher Islamiyat Bolarinwa and colleagues measured amygdalin levels across 15 different apple varieties and published their findings in the journal Food Chemistry. The results ranged from about 1 to 4 milligrams of amygdalin per gram of seed, depending on the variety. Some apples, it turns out, are simply more toxic at the seed than others. Now compare that to what your body can actually handle. According to the CDC, the lethal oral dose of cyanide for an adult sits somewhere between 1 and 2 milligrams per kilogram of body weight. For an average 70-kilogram adult, that works out to roughly 70 to 140 milligrams total. That's the target. Now here's the climb toward it. A single apple seed weighs less than a gram. Even at the high end of amygdalin content, one seed converts into only a tiny fraction of a milligram of cyanide. To reach a genuinely lethal dose in one sitting, most estimates suggest you'd need somewhere between 150 and several hundred finely crushed seeds, all consumed at once. That's not one apple. That's not even 5. That's closer to 15 or 20 apples worth of seeds, thoroughly chewed, in a single sitting. To put that in perspective, most apples contain somewhere around 5 to 10 seeds each. Getting anywhere near a lethal dose in one sitting would mean deliberately collecting, crushing, and swallowing the seeds from dozens of apples at once, something that essentially never happens by accident, and rarely happens even on purpose. So does that mean the daily habit is completely safe? Not quite. Here's where the real story gets interesting. Your body isn't defenseless against cyanide. An enzyme called rhodinase, first studied in detail by researchers Heisman and Knight in the Biochemical Journal back in 1967, converts small amounts of cyanide into a far less toxic compound called thiocyanate, which your kidneys simply flush away. This is the part almost nobody knows. You are exposed to trace cyanide constantly, from apple seeds, cherry pits, almonds, even certain leafy greens, and your body neutralizes nearly all of it before it ever becomes dangerous. So the daily apple seed habit isn't building toward a hidden overdose. It's running straight into a detox system that's been handling this exact compound for your entire life. Think about it this way. Your body isn't reacting to apple seeds specifically. It's running a general-purpose cleanup crew that evolved to deal with low-level cyanogenic compounds across an entire diet, not just one fruit. Almonds, lima beans, cassava, and sorghum all contain related compounds in trace amounts, and humans have been eating all of them for thousands of years without mass poisoning events. The system works, most of the time, for most people, but nearly all of it is not the same as all of it. Here's stage 2 of the story, and this is where things actually shift. Detox systems have limits. Rhodinase can only process cyanide as fast as your liver delivers the enzyme and your kidneys clear the byproduct. Flood that system continuously, day after day, seed after seed, and you're not adding up toward a single lethal dose. You're testing how close you can push a detox pathway to its ceiling, repeatedly, for years. For most people eating a few seeds a day, the math never gets close. The daily dose is a rounding error compared to what rhodinase can clear in an afternoon. But there's a third factor almost no one accounts for. Not every apple seed is equal, and not every person processes cyanide equally either. Children have a lower body weight, meaning the same seed count represents a proportionally larger dose. People with certain metabolic or liver conditions process thiocyanate more slowly than average, and crushed blended seeds, the kind you'd get from juicing an entire apple, core included, release far more amygdalin than a seed swallowed whole and passed through undigested. This is the reveal underneath the reveal. The danger was never really about the apple. It was about the gap between a seed engineered by nature to survive digestion and a blender that defeats that defense in seconds. Nature built that seed coating over millions of years specifically to stop this from happening easily. A kitchen appliance undoes that protection in about 10 seconds, without knowing or caring what it just released. Swallow a seed whole while eating an apple, and it passes through you completely intact, amygdalin locked safely inside its shell. Crush that same seed into a smoothie, day after day, and you're doing exactly what your body's defenses were never built to handle at scale. Quietly, repeatedly, invisibly. So here's where the story actually lands. A handful of accidental seeds from apple cores? Harmless, every single time. Even a habit of chewing a seed or two? Still well within what your body clears without effort. But someone deliberately crushing and consuming large quantities of seeds daily, especially through juicing or blending, especially over months or years, especially in a smaller-bodied person? That's not paranoia. That's simple toxicology, playing out slowly instead of suddenly. The compound doesn't care about intention. It only cares about dose, and about whether that tough little seed coating gets broken before it reaches your gut. There's historical precedent for taking this compound far too seriously in the wrong direction, too. In the 20th century, a purified, concentrated form of amygdalin was marketed under the name Laetrile as an alternative cancer treatment, given in doses vastly higher than anything found naturally in a piece of fruit. Documented cases of cyanide poisoning followed, serious enough that health regulators intervened. That's the compound at industrial concentration, deliberately isolated and administered in bulk, not the trace amounts sitting inside a few chewed seeds. The lesson isn't that apples are secretly dangerous. It's that dose and concentration are everything, and a habit that multiplies a small daily amount by thousands of days starts to look very different from an occasional accident. So, could eating apple seeds every day actually poison you? Not from the seeds you swallow by accident, almost certainly not from a seed or two you chew without thinking, but from a daily habit of crushing and consuming them in bulk. The chemistry says yes, it absolutely could, just slowly enough that you'd never think to blame the apple.
But where did it come from? Is it even a real apple? Let's find out. Maybe it's for snacks. Even the core is perfectly safe. Just look out for those bitter little seeds. Every single day, we repeat the same patterns. But how do we actually break this cycle? You'll learn more knowledge about these fruits soon.